Should recruiters get extra time off for dealing with people? Working with people is like a double espresso. At first, it gives you a kick, but then you feel like you've been hit by a bus. Yes, I know. In most jobs, we interact with people to some extent. Now that I think about it, if the office were real, I would love to meet the recruiter who hired those people. Nobody warned me before I started working in recruitment that after meetings with certain candidates, my internal time tracking system would log 1 hour of recruitment as 8 hours of intensive labor. Can I report this somewhere? And it's not that I don't like people or that they exhaust me. I just don't like people, and they exhaust me. Rhetorical question. Who hasn't felt mentally drained after a full day of talking to candidates? Somewhere between, why do you have 7 years of sales experience but are applying for a developer position? And yes, thank you, we will be in touch, even though we won't be in touch. We've come to the realization that HR isn't just a profession, it's an extreme challenge. Being a recruiter is like playing rugby. Except instead of a ball, you're holding candidates' dreams, and instead of a team, you have an entire office full of frustrations. Every interview is a potential collision with emotions, hope, or worst of all, arrogant candidates. Try talking to people for 8 hours a day, listening to their life stories, experiences, aspirations, and dreams, while still delivering results. Because as we know, recruitment agencies aren't charities. Sometimes recruiters have to be not just recruiters, but also psychologists, detectives, and even fortune tellers, trying to figure out if a candidate actually knows what they are doing, or even what they want to do. After a single day of screening resumes, taking calls, resolving conflicts between candidates and managers, handling urgent candidate issues, and listening to your boss demand fast and high volume results, a recruiter deserves a break, and that means extra time off. Why do recruiters need emotional leave? A recruiter has to swallow stress like a pelican. A recruiter knows that if they don't call back within 24 hours, the candidate will either die of uncertainty or accept an offer from the competition. What if a candidate show up on an interview with a hole in their pants, or worse, in pajamas? Should HR get additional leave? The answer is simple. Absolutely. If after 8 hours of online meetings saying, "Thank you, we will be in touch," handling a flood of applications, reconstructing resumes from the chaos candidates bring, and deflecting, "Why didn't I get the job?" attacks, a recruiter doesn't need time to recover, then I don't know who does. Anyone who has worked in recruitment knows that dealing with people is an advanced form of mental yoga. You become more flexible, but only psychologically. If I had to describe my job in one sentence, it would be: recruitment is like an endless group therapy session where you have to be the therapist, the patient, and the detached observer, all at the same time. You finish work, but you don't feel relaxed. Instead, it's like you have spent the day managing emotions, listening to stories from people who can surprise you in a very possible way. Because HR isn't just about selecting the best candidates, it's about making it through every interview without emotional burnout. After a day full of working with people, you feel as exhausted as if you have run a marathon. Sometimes you wonder if you should just turn into a rock. At least then, no one would talk to you. Yes, recruiters deserve extra time off. And not just a single day, but at least a week of peace and quiet. And while HR gives you invaluable experience, sometimes you just want to sit in silence, sip your coffee, and fall asleep like a child who just came back from the playground without people around.